Change on here, she did just all schools operational. She didn't make that change last night, but I think this must have been before that. You did get it for it. She already had it. She had made the change last night.
Hello to everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the May 9th, 2017 regularly scheduled meeting of the Alexander County Board of Education to order. And I would like to recognize Board Member David Odom for our invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this assembly and the many blessings we've received as a community. Dear Lord, we ask you to preside over this meeting. Let our decisions be founded in fact and truth, in all things to your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Now I'd like to recognize, is it Rylan Austin? Hi, how are you? Rylan is a sixth grader at West Alexander Middle School. She's the daughter of Stacy and Janet Austin of the Bethlehem community. Her twin brother, Matthew, is also a sixth grader at West Alexander Middle School, and her older brother, Isaac, is a ninth grader at Alexander Central High School. She's going to lead us in our pledge tonight. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Attention, salute the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Board members, you've had a chance to look over the agenda. A couple of reports have been moved around, but nothing has been added. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions, additions, or deletions? All those in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7. Well, I'm sorry. Any opposed? That motion carries 7-0. I will now recognize Dr. Jennifer Hefner for our honors and recognitions because we have a lot of them today. A lot of talented folks here.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. It is my pleasure to present the honors and recognitions portion of the board meeting. And tonight we will be recognizing 2 groups of high school students for their accomplishments. First, we will start by recognizing the state FFA Dairy Judging Champions. Marty Pennell, will you please assist me with these? For the second time in 6 years, Alexander Central's Future Farmers of America have won the state FFA Dairy Judging Competition. They will represent North Carolina at the 90th National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. Over 270 students were in attendance on April 8th at the Iredell County Fairgrounds, representing schools across North Carolina, from Brevard to Camden County. There are over 260 high schools with FFA chapters in North Carolina, and Alexander Central holds the state champion title for 2017. That deserves a round of applause. Team members, please come forward. Ethan Sprinkle, Emily Prince, Brian Sandifer, and Isaac Chapman. If you all will, Renee will want you lined up in the front, and I'm going to ask your advisors to come up also. I'm going to keep talking, and I'm also going to invite some of the advisors up if they're here, okay? Ethan Sprinkle was the high-scoring individual on the team. The FFA advisors for the team are J.D. Sink, Scotty Cook, and Tyler Mitchell. If any of the advisors are here, please come forward. Give them a round of applause. Tyler, I will want you to convey my heartfelt gratitude for the support and guidance you give, not only to those in your CTE classes, but also to the FFA students. Bryant Chapman of Chapman Dairy was a local expert and coach for the team as well. Is Bryant here by chance? Give him a round of applause. Bryant was on the state winning team in 2012. The win was especially sweet for Ethan and Brian, as they are seniors at Alexander Central, and they have collectively competed in over 20 FFA competitions during their high school experience. Contestants are scored based on how well they apply dairy cattle evaluation skills learned in the classroom, and each team evaluates six classes of dairy cattle and defends the reasoning behind their evaluations to a panel of judges. Participants also completed a written test and worked collaboratively to select appropriate herd composition. Completing these activities successfully requires a very good understanding of both animal science and herd management skills. Again, we say congratulations to Ethan, Emily, Brian, and Isaac. A job well done. David Odom, will you assist me with the next recognitions? Some advisors that I would also like to recognize tonight. I know that we have a couple at least in attendance. We are going to be recognizing Skills USA state winners, and that would not happen without very good and committed advisors. I would like the following to please come forward: Ramey Robinson, Josh Bowles, Marilyn Frick, Angie Ford, Roy Hadley, Teresa Jennings, and Donna Wall. Advisors, I want to say thank you and express my gratitude for the work you do with our CTE students, and in particular, the work you do with Skills USA. A job well done. Skills USA is a national nonprofit student organization that serves students enrolled in career and technical education training programs at our nation's public high schools and colleges. Skills USA's mission is to empower its members to become world-class workers and responsible American citizens. Skills USA complements technical skills training with instruction in the employability skills that make a well-rounded worker and citizen. Founded in 1965, Skills USA has developed nearly 9.5 million workers through active partnerships between employers and educators. On April 26th, 27th, and 28th, 18 of our high school CTE students attended the State Leadership and Skills Conference held in Greensboro. These students competed in some of the 100+ contests offered to secondary and post-secondary students in the state of North Carolina. Skills USA is an important part of what career and technical education is all about, while pushing students to new levels beyond the classroom. These opportunities help our students develop the technical skills needed, but also the soft skills needed to be successful in the workplace. All the students prepare a resume and even perform an interview as part of the contest. Over 100 industry partners, such as Lowe's Home Improvement, Adobe, and Irwin Tools, help support the competitive events. Below, we are going to recognize students that placed and were awarded medals for being in the top 5 in the state of North Carolina. We also had students competing in firefighting and architectural drafting, but those students did not place in the top 5. The following are certainly to be congratulated for their recent accomplishments. Starting with the state's first place winner, Gannon Millsaps for basic healthcare skills. Congratulations. Because he was a first place winner, Gannon will advance to the national competition that will be held in, help me, Louisville, Kentucky. Great. Secondly, we're going to recognize Nicole Miller. She was a second place winner in basic healthcare skills. Congratulations, Nicole. Next, Elizabeth Rector, third place, basic healthcare skills. Jay Stein, second place, carpentry. Grant Mitchell, third place, carpentry. Zach Pennell, fourth place, carpentry. Andrew Jones, second place, electrical wiring. Blake Ledford, third place, electrical wiring. Wesley Dunford and Nick Howard, fifth place, additive manufacturing. And last but certainly not least, Holden Ritchie, fifth place, tool ID. Okay, good luck with this, Ms. Mead. Get all of them in a picture. Folks, these are the best in the state of North Carolina. Give them a round of applause. A job well done. Thank you. And I have to say, I don't know who made this happen, but rarely do we ever have all students present for recognitions. I applaud you for that as well. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Yes. Okay. All right. No one has signed up for public comment, so we're going to move to the business portion of our meeting. So if anybody wants to make a fast exit, now's a great time.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. No, I'm
Adele, Danny.
in
Thank
about
you all so much.
15
Thank you.
minutes.
See ya. Bye.
There's just some things I can't give up.
I cleared something.
Yeah. No. I'll be out of here in about 10 minutes. Wait, wait, did you see Roni?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, really, like you would not.
They're wishing I didn't get them
Yeah.
as much as I did. That was great. Top winners. I told Harry, I said, you can hire some of these kids. It's quiet. Okay. Board members, you've had a chance to look over the consent agenda in your packets. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 7-0. We're going to move on to reports. Our first committee report is the Budget Committee report, and I will recognize Vice Chair Scott Bowman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is from the Budget Committee. The Alexander County Board of Education met for their regular monthly meeting on Monday, April the 11th, 2016. At that meeting, the Budget Committee made a motion to begin the process of investigating the closure of Taylorsville Elementary School and school consolidation. This motion was passed 5-2 vote. This investigation has been completed and school closures is not being considered by the board at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman, and I'll recognize Board Member Harry Strum for Facilities Committee report.
Thank you. Based on the fact that school closure is not being considered by the board at this time, this Facilities Committee would like to work with Dr. Hefner and Maintenance Director, Mr. Dale Robertson, to develop a 3-year plan that addresses facility needs at all schools. Pressing issues that will drive this 3-year schedule will include student safety, ADA compliance issues, and curb appeal at each site. The gymnasium at Sugarloaf Elementary School will have structural and floor issues addressed during the summer months to ensure student safety. Also, each school will have an annual checklist completed to check for issues such as roof leaks, gutter problems, foundation concerns, in order to develop a repair and replacement schedule to keep all schools operational. And let me go back to the ADA. If anyone wonders what ADA is, that's American Disabilities Act, and that's a pressing issue for us right now. So that's our recommendation.
I think that you're presenting that in the format of a report. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we do not need to take action on that at this time. And I would just like to thank the board for all their work. It's been a lot going on the last year with regard to our facilities and our schools. And I'd like to thank the staff at each school that was deeply affected by this, as well as all the community members that came out to support their schools. So we want to thank all of you for that. We've got a lot more work to do, but we've made a lot of progress in the last year. And I think this board feels comfortable moving forward as we've just stated at this time. And the only other thing I'm going to say is I have a son who's graduating this year, and he's getting ready to pitch in a state playoff game. So I am going to take an exit right now to go watch him and turn it over to Vice Chair Bowman. But I wanted to be here for the reports of the facilities and the budget committee. So that being said, I'm going to defer to Mr. Bowman, and if it will be reflected in the minutes. Thank you.
And shall we say, go Cougars?
Yes. No pressure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good luck to Okay, as we carry on, our next report is the before and after school care update. It's Ms. Macy Jones, Director of Head Start. She'll present.
Mr. Chair, and to the board, good evening to all of you. I'm going to try and make it through this without coughing and eating cough drops. I was diagnosed with bronchitis last Monday, and so I'm still kind of battling that, so just be patient with me. I'm here tonight to just give you a little update on before and after school care program which I direct. When I took over in 2012, my assistant Jennifer Anderson and I started doing some research, and we were looking at the last time that fees had been increased for the before and after school care program, and the increase in cost and of supplies and just making our program better. And we determined that we have not had a fee increase since 2008, 2009. So I'm here tonight to ask you if in the next month or so, as you have discussions, if you will consider a fee increase for before and after school care. Right now, it costs $15 a week for before school care. That's from 6 a.m. until 7:30 a.m. That's $3 a day. After school care is $35 a week from 3 until 6. I know the bells don't ring until about 3:10 or 3:15, but the staff, they start gathering children around 3. And that is $35 a week. So of course, what is it, $7 a day? And then it's $50 a week for both. So that's $10 a day for before and after school care. I'd like to ask you to consider at least a $5 increase. That would take the fees from $15 for morning care to $20, after school care from $35 to $40, and for both from $50 to $55. That's $1 a day increase. And to support the reason for this increase, I'm asking that we could use it to help support the increase in costs for the additional early release days. They have to bring staff in more days for that. Also, if the state gives the mandate or says that we're supposed to give an increase to our staff, I'd like to be able to offer that to the child care employees as well. Another reason is the rising cost of supplies and materials. Our children do activities in the afternoons, and of course, over the last 8 or 9 years, those costs have gone up. Another reason is the state of North Carolina tells us that we are required to provide mandated training because we are licensed centers, and we have to pay fees for those trainings a lot of times. So with that in mind, I'm just asking that you would give it some thought, and I'll come back before you in June. I'll welcome any questions that you have. And that's basically why I'm before you tonight. Any questions for me?
Macy, to clarify, to make sure that I understand, 15 in the morning would increase to 20.
Yes.
35 in the afternoon would increase to 40, but the two combined would increase to 55.
55. We don't want to do too much, too fast, and we don't want it to be a burden on families. But at the same time, we're one of the lowest in the county. I've done some research the past couple of years, and it's about $85 a week in some places, and on up to $125.
Any questions?
Okay,
Thank you, Matt.
thank you.
Okay, now we're school report from West Alexander Middle School and Dr. Chad Maynor presenting.
Vice Chair Bowman, members of the board, I'd just like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to present to you this evening. I'll try to make this as timely and quick as possible, but still yet try to touch on a lot of great things we've been doing since I was able to talk with you last spring. So first slide. Next. Is there a clicker? Yeah. Okay. One of the things that I think, without a doubt, makes West Alexander Middle School so great is we have an outstanding staff as well as some pretty amazing students. I would like to point out that for the last 3 years, we've exceeded expected growth. 100% of our staff either met or exceeded expected growth during the 2015-2016 school year. As far as students, our attendance rate was in the 95th percentile of the state at 96.65%. Myself, I've had the pleasure, and I want to, I guess, give a shout out to Dr. Curry as well as Mr. Roney at this time. I've had the pleasure to present at 3 separate conferences over the last couple months. That's a little outside my comfort zone, as public speaking is not one of my number one favorites, but they've encouraged me to step outside of that. And as I had the opportunity to present at the conferences, I realized just how far we are ahead of a lot of other schools across the state as far as implementing interventions as well as enrichment opportunities for our students to excel. Myself, Mr. Draper, as well as our instructional coach, Ms. Curtis, and our school counselor, Ms. Calhoun, will be presenting this summer at the Middle School Summit at High Point University. I believe the date on that is July 18th, and talking with other middle schools as far as what it's looked like for us. But I do want to thank Dr. Curry as well as Mr. Roney for the opportunity to do that with them over the last couple months. Next slide. PBIS works, and if you look at the data there as far as the numbers, and Dr. Griffin, if you can click on the discipline data graph, there'll be a bar graph pull up in just 1 second. And from 2009, I believe it is, my eyes are not as good, and we might have to flip back in a minute, but from 2009, from where it started pre-PBIS, we had 466 referrals at West Alexander Middle School. And I'd like to, at this time, recognize a number of people who contributed to this positive improvement. The first being Ms. Gant. West Alexander Middle School was one of the first schools in the county to step out front and move forward with PBIS. I think the program was either in place 1 or 2 years before I actually arrived at West. So a big shout out for her, because at the time we heard about this at principal's meeting. None of us really knew a lot about it, so would like to shout out to her. I'd also like to give a shout out to Mr. Andy Palmer, who was big as far as the early implementation piece, as well as the first 2 years with me as principal at West Alexander Middle School. Mr. Jason Evans, currently the Alexander Early College principal, and then Mr. Charles Draper, current assistant principal. He's done an outstanding job with keeping the program going, implementing a lot of resources to address our discipline referrals, and also the staff. The staff have bought into the program, and they've done an outstanding job of rewarding positive behavior, holding students accountable, and figuring out creative ways to help them be successful. So a special shout out to them. Mr. Draper and Ms. Starnes are PBS co-chairs. They actually presented in Avery County back in the fall, I believe it was, or maybe it was early spring. I think the weather threw them back a little bit. Presented in Avery County as far as what we're doing here, as they were interested to learn what we were doing at West Alexander Middle School. Dr. Griffin, go back to the slides. Next slide, please. We're continuing with our intervention and enrichment efforts, and we're still able, with some creative scheduling, to offer several students who are in need of double dipping in both math and reading, an opportunity to receive both of those. And one of the ways we've been able to do that is with Nikki Hefner. She's our in-school suspension coordinator. She has a group of 7th and 8th graders during one block of their Explore Toys, as well as Ms. Kim Lohman, our media coordinator, who has a group of 6th graders that she works with in the media center during one of their 2 Explore Toys. This is our 2nd year. We've been able to offer a resource block for students in grades 6, 8. We continue to offer STEM, computer literacy, financial literacy, Battle of the Books. Something new this year, Coach Keehan has offered hunter safety, and we've had about 80 young men and women who have completed the hunter safety course, which is a pretty big deal. Just the awareness of safety with firearms and offering them that opportunity to receive that at school, I think is pretty special. And Coach Keegan, as you know, has done a great job with that, as he does with all things. CPR, we've offered that to all of our 8th graders. That's a graduation requirement that we're offering in the 8th grade. So once the students get to the high school, they don't have to worry about taking that. We offer a high school success group that's run with Miss Kim Howe. It's aligned with the habits of highly effective teens. We've also done a book study with 6th grade of The Leader in Me. As you know, Ellendale's implemented a program as well as Hidnot, I believe, but Ellendale being our feeder school, several of those students approached us at the end of last year wanting to tell us a little more about the program. So the place that we've started this year is that we've started with a book study, and all the 6th grade teachers, myself, the counselors, instructional coach, Mr. Draper, have participated in that. And we actually have about 4 teachers that are going to be visiting Bailey Elementary School in just a couple weeks to see how they've implemented that at their school. It's a much larger school, and I'm sure it'll look very different than our school, but it'll give us an idea. Hannah Thomas, formerly a language arts teacher at West Alexander Middle School, was there. I spoke with her after Mr. Draper had contacted the principal, and have had conversations, and they're going to go down there, I believe it's next Wednesday, actually, to visit that and see what it looks like in the middle school. Our school store, yearbook committee, jazz band, honors course, and WAMS TV are all also currently fully operational as well during the intervention enrichment, and offer another opportunity for many of those students. Excited about the Duke Energy NC Beautiful grant. I want to give an update. Mr. Ryan Rao, one of our 6th grade science teachers, received a grant from Duke Energy NC Beautiful to get chickens. We actually have chickens at West Alexander Middle School. They're about 2 months old now. The chicken coop is located adjacent to our greenhouse. It's very nice. He's done an outstanding job with building the chicken coop, the fence around it. The students have enjoyed it thoroughly. All of his students, as well as the other students, have enjoyed that opportunity. Many of our 5th graders, when we were doing tours just a couple of weeks ago, said, "Chickens? What's the chickens here?" I said, "Yeah, we got chickens. There's a pool on the roof, all kinds of stuff. You'll love it here." So you'll love it here. But they did enjoy it. In about 8 months, they'll begin laying eggs. So the students are excited about that. It's an upcoming group as well. Also, I'm excited to report with the help of Dale Robinson Maintenance, our greenhouse is fully functional. We have gas now. Mr. Rao's class, as well as Ms. Whitehurst's class, is using our greenhouse with some plants. Many of those students took those plants home today. Also, Ms. Kaler's EC class, they go in there and use that as well. So I'm excited. Previously, we've used it for storage and other purposes that sort of left it short of what it needed to be. So I'm excited that we've got that up and running this year. An update, remember back in the summer, I had the rare request from the principal to ask for more testing, and I made that request, and we completed the Iowa assessments back in the fall. We had approximately 350 students to participate that out of a little over 500. In the upcoming weeks, those students will be recognized. We'll have a dance with free concessions during the school day after lunch and be in the afternoon. I've contacted the DJ. I'm currently trying to keep the date private from the students because it's in the end of the testing window, so I don't want them to get too focused with the dance too soon and forget the testing that they must complete in the process as far as the standard state testing. We received an email from the Harcourt on May 4th telling us the money is coming, but if the money is not here by the time we have that, the students will get the dance. I'll stand by my word, what I promised them when they did it, when they signed up for it, so they'll get rewarded and they'll have a great time. The recommendation for what we would do came from our student council. We met a couple weeks ago with them during clubs, threw out a couple options that might be a possibility, and seemed that dance and food and all those goodies were the most popular. So that's what we're going with. And then the last slide, of course, is on behalf of the faculty. I just want to say thank you, Board of Education, for your continued support. Thank you, district level leadership, for your support and for allowing us to do what we love each and every day. As John Kennedy said, children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. I'd like to close, and I'm certainly taking questions following the video, but we did a little project, and the idea actually generated from Parkway School District in St. Louis, Missouri. and I'd like to share it with you. But before then, I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Anna Shook, her husband, Andrew Shook, as well as April Walsh, who sort of spearheaded the video here that we'll share with you. All right. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as we did making it. Once again, thanks so much to Dr. Shook, Ms. Walsh, Andrew Shook, her husband. I think West is pretty special, but I'm biased. I'm sure every principal gets up here tells you their place is pretty special, and I know it is to them. But just want to say thank you for the opportunity to allow us to do what we do each day. We feel like we've had a great year. We've got a lot of big days ahead of us. We'll work hard to finish strong. But once again, if you have any questions, I welcome those at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Ms. Bone.
Great job.
Thanks.
Next will be our superintendent's report, and I'll recognize Dr. Jennifer Hefner.
First, I want to start by thanking board members for their attendance at the Of the Year celebration held last Thursday. It was a wonderful event, and it was a great opportunity to recognize and reward professional excellence throughout our school system. Also, I wanted to remind you of some important dates. They are quickly approaching, and the attachment will be on the agenda later this evening. I didn't get it to Deborah in time to attach it for you to read tonight, but it will be there, so you can get these dates and add to your calendar. Sunday, May 21st at 3, the honors ceremony at the high school auditorium. Friday, May 26th, beginning at 8:30, the scholarship ceremony at the auditorium. Then we have this Friday, Leadership Day at Ellendale. That starts at 8:30 and ends at 11. And on May 19th, Leadership Day at Hidnight Elementary, starting at 9 and finishing at 11:30. I told you last month that graduation is scheduled for Friday, June 9th, beginning at 7 at the high school stadium. And you know that's probably the biggest day of celebration for more than 300 children because one chapter ends and a new one begins that night. So I would really encourage you to be there. It is certainly something special. Our June board meeting has been moved up a week We're going to meet on June 6th at the auditorium with a retiree reception being held beginning at 5 in the high school's cafeteria. I would ask that you make it to that reception also. As of today, school visits have been scheduled for Taylorsville and West Alexander Middle School. We're going to go to Taylorsville on Thursday, that is this Thursday, May 11th, and we will go to West Alexander on Tuesday, May 23rd. I would ask you to arrive at the school site by 11:30. Another celebration that we're really jazzed about, and I don't know if Sherry Williams is in here. She's probably preparing some food or something, but she is our school food service director, and she's being recognized as the state's director of the year at a banquet held at the Curry Convention Center in Greensboro at 7 o'clock on Thursday, June 22nd. Again, that's Thursday, June 22nd in Greensboro. I am planning to go. Some of the leadership team will be planning to attend the banquet. I would offer that you are welcome to ride with any of us, because I hope you will join me as we celebrate Sherry Williams at the state level. We are proud of her work and dedication, and if you know anything about her, she is second to none, and I'm so thrilled about that recognition. We have, on a less happy note, we have received notification that the 21st Century Learning Grant for the after-school program at Taylorsville is not going to be refunded after this school year. The program will officially close in June with no summer opportunities offered for students. We are very disappointed about the decision, but we will reapply for the grant in the future. Under current state and federal initiatives, I fear that a lot of grant funding could be at risk. And I needed to share that with you tonight. Sharon Mahaffey and I will be making a budget presentation for the commissioner's work schedule, or excuse me, for their work session. It's scheduled for Monday, May 15th. And then lastly, I'm pleased to tell you that West Alexander Middle School will be highlighted on WBTV tomorrow at 5 o'clock for a feel-good story. I don't know how often you watch the news, but it is rarely an occurrence when it's a feel-good story. So tomorrow night at 5, West will be featured in a feel-good story. Kristen Hampton visited their school today, and the story is going to highlight a set of quadruplets and 3 sets of twins that have participated on the track team this school year, along with an additional 4 sets of twins that attend the school. I don't know what's in the water in the western side of the county, but if you want multiple births, it might happen there. But I just want to say a special thank you, Dr. Maynor, to Danny Brown. He is a health and PE teacher. He reached out to WBTV and said, hey, we think we have something kind of unique at this school, and we want you to come and tell about that instead of some of the negative things that make the press. So tomorrow night, tune in at 5 o'clock, and you will see some really neat children. I also learned today that they haven't come home yet, but one of our teachers at West gave birth to a set of twins this week. And then the counselor over there has a set of twins. So Dr. Maynor has taken their pictures and he has sent those to the news station, hoping that they'll make the story also, because it evidently also spreads to the staff over there. But that is really the last thing that I would like to share. So word of warning, if you go to work at West, what might happen. But that is the last thing that that's the last thing I wanted to share. Do you have any questions?
And what channel was?
WBTV,
Okay,
Channel
WBTV.
3.
Okay.
Channel 3. All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. Now it's time for unfinished business, and first up is Ms. Sharon McHaffey with our proposed Board of Education policy revisions, second reading.
Okay, we had 15 policies and one regulation that came up for first reading last month. I have not heard, they were presented to the principals and to you, and I have not had any questions or asked for revisions from the original policies that you were given. So I ask that those be approved on the second reading.
Move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. I think you're next. Next was happy with new policies.
We have two new policies that are up for the second reading this month. And return to work and employees travel and other expense reimbursements. And again, we presented those last month, and I have had no suggestions or recommendations for those.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board? Okay, is there a second? Second. Any questions? All in favor, say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? And that motion carries also. Okay, now we're moving on to new business, and Ms. McCaffey, you're still up for new policies.
Okay, we have three new policies up for consideration for the first reading this month. Governing Principles, Student Success, Policy 1200, Automated Phone and Text Messaging, Policy 5008, and Federal Grant Administration, Policy 8305. And we'll bring those back next month for the second reading.
Thank you. Section B, proposed first readings.
Okay, there are four revised policies up for first reading this month. Physical, in the 8,000 series, physical goals, 8,000, budget planning and adoption, 8,100, grant and funding for special projects, 8,210, and school finance officer, 8,510. And we'll bring back those for the second reading next month.
Thank you. Next up is our ACS Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan, and I'll recognize Dr. Phil Griffin.
Vice Chair Bowman, members of the board, Dr. Hefner, have before you a copy of our beginning teachers plan for this school year, 16-17. As part of our beginning teacher support program, we have to put together a plan of support for our new teachers, and that's what you have before you. It's also part of our compliance. You guys have to know what exists in that plan and be able to hopefully sign off that you agree with what we've put together for this year. I recommend that, or I would like to ask that you approve our beginning teachers plan for this school year, please.
Okay. Members of the board, you've heard do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor, please say yes.
Yay.
Any noes? And that motion carries. Thank you so much, Dr. Griffin.
Thank you for your support.
Next up is our proposed school facility use policy and rate change, and I recognize Ms. Renee Mead.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Hefner. I present to you the recommendation from the School Facility Use Committee. As you can see, we have tweaked the policy a little bit, and essentially I'm asking for two changes. The first change is the updated policy that would allow for sanctioned travel teams to use our facility for the purpose of tournaments, games, and competitions. In the original policy, we made concessions for travel teams to be able to use the facilities at a reduced rate for practices. So what we're proposing this year is to allow them to be able to use the facility for games, tournaments, or competitions, depending on what type of sport it is, at a reduced rate which would also be the $5 per hour per facility per team, with the addition of a $150 convenience fee. Supervision fees would still apply as needed. The current rate is $5 per hour per team per facility, and we're not asking for a change in that. That would stay the same.
Ms. Smith, the convenience fees for lights and trash and things such as that?
And we had outlined last year on the rate schedule where we had the convenience fees, and what we did was just set a flat fee this year for the travel teams to allow them to be able to project, because it would be hard for somebody to count every time we have a travel team having a tournament, the number of participants that they would have. So we just set it at a flat rate. The second recommendation or recommended change is to establish a reduced rate for legal nonprofits and incorporated churches that apply for and fulfill a community partnership agreement. That community partnership agreement will outline requirements for the nonprofit group or church as follows. The agreement will be completed by August the 31st each school year and remain in effect for the entire school year. No partnerships will be granted after August the 31st for that school year. The nonprofit must be a legal nonprofit, a 501c3 example, and churches must be incorporated. The use of the facility must be for a student activity with proper adult supervision at all times. The requested dates of use must be pre-approved by the principal or the school facility scheduler and must not be in conflict with school activities or functions. The church or group will provide volunteer time to the school at a rate of 1 hour per each hour that the facility is used, and this is to be considered an in-kind contribution from that group. In return, the school system will apply a reduced rate waiver for the group or church in the amount of $5 per hour, and of course with this also supervision rates would apply if needed. Each school will maintain its school partnership agreements and submit them to the central office for the waiver to be applied for the school facility use.
I do have one question
Yes.
here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The showing proof that they are a legal nonprofit,
Mhm.
who will they give that information to?
That would come here to the
Okay.
central office.
Okay.
And thank you, because I had some questions, you helped answer my questions earlier in the week, but such as the Good News Club
Yes.
would fall into this category, but it would be on each church at each school to do the agreement.
That is correct.
So the schools, I guess, we probably should get the word out, for the churches through the schools, however we need to do that, so that they'll understand that they can get the reduced rate.
Well, we were hoping that this being in the paper today for tonight will help do that also.
Okay.
But then we will ask each of the principals to contact those that currently use their facilities and extend this to them and make sure they're aware of it.
Thank
I
you.
served on this committee and we spent considerable time discussing this because we have such good community partners and we wanted to give those folks that use the schools every week and who give back so much to our schools, we wanted to give them a price break.
And
Was
they're
basically what it
right.
amounted to.
And they're probably already volunteering at the
They
schools.
are, they
So-
send proctors for testing. I mean, I don't think they'll have any problem meeting the volunteer
Right.
component of that policy. And we just felt like that we needed to give back to them because they were giving so much to us.
Right.
It's basically, am I correct in how I stated that?
And I do think that it will be establish a true community partnership with the schools. So we're looking forward to that.
With, I know, one of the concerns was with Legion Ball. And with the statement being that it's for students, I know Legion Ball, I think they maybe carry on a year after they're no longer a student. Now, is that going to be an issue?
I think that The policy or the change that you're referring to is for the community agreement. They would fall under a travel team for us now.
Okay.
And so they, as long as they're sanctioned, and they are, we have already
Okay.
checked into that, and they are sanctioned, so they would qualify. American Legion does.
Thank you.
Board members, we need to take action on this if it's okay. Do I have a motion to approve this?
I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Any noes? And that passes. Thank you so much. Next is our appropriations of lottery funds, and I'll ask Dr. Jennifer Hefner to report on that.
Board members, you have two attachments in your agenda. I would ask that you open the second attachment. It is actually a spreadsheet that documents from the year 2009 to the 2015-16 school year. We have had a loss of lottery revenues totaling almost $1.9 million because of the change in the percentage that public school systems were eligible for. And I just wanted to attach that for your information. But at this time, I would like to read the resolution. Resolution of the Alexander County Board of Education on requesting restoration to counties of the statutorily authorized appropriation of lottery funds. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 18C of the North Carolina General Statutes, the North Carolina State Lottery Act and the 2005 Appropriation Act was signed into law establishing the North Carolina Education Lottery. The act created the 9-member North Carolina Lottery Commission to initiate, supervise, and administer the education lottery. And whereas the North Carolina Education Lottery was promoted and supported on the basis of proceeds enhancing local government's ability to adequately provide for education expenses. And whereas the distribution to counties budgeted from proceeds in fiscal year 2015-16 has been drastically reduced to $100 million in contrast to $208 million at the previous statutory funding rate of 40%, which amounted to $354,488 in Alexander County, in contrast to $737,335 at the 40% rate. And whereas pursuant to state law, the lottery funds that are allocated to the counties can be used for education for capital outlay projects, including the planning, construction, enlargement, improvement, repair, or renovation of public school buildings, and for the purchase of land for public school buildings, or for the equipment to implement a local school technology plan. And whereas it is extremely difficult for the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education across this state to plan for improvements in school buildings and for technology equipment with the reduction of lottery funds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Alexander County Board of Education respectfully requests that the Governor and the North Carolina General Assembly support the allocation to counties at their statutorily authorized portion of educational lottery funds to be used for capital needs and technology. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution are forwarded to the local legislation delegation, to the North Carolina General Assembly, the North Carolina School Boards Association, and to the other 114 North Carolina local education agencies. Adopted this 9th day of May, 2017.
Does anyone have any questions?
I have a comment.
Okay.
There's over 100 school districts, school systems in North Carolina. And if we lost 1.8 million, imagine how much the larger districts lost. What the General Assembly did was diverted those funds back to the general fund in part. So they violated their own general statute. So resolutions are wonderful, but class action lawsuits are even better. I move we adopt the resolution.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Thank you. And that will conclude our meeting tonight. The board will enter into closed session per North Carolina Statute 143-318. Thank you so much for coming and supporting us tonight.
Right, and it's